Hey everybody! Now you might have seen on socials that I am introducing another segment to Cycle with Serafina, and I'm very, very excited about it. It's called Ask Lewis, because I can't answer all these technical questions and I'm not interested in doing that. I like just doing the writing and the fun part. So I've got Lewis here and I want you to get to know him better and understand why I brought him on the show, and is he qualified enough to answer your questions? I think he is.
Hopefully. I'll try my best.
Yeah, you're amazing. So
thanks for having me on, by the way, as well. It's really exciting. I'm quite excited to see where this goes as well.
It's very exciting. And I think you add an amazing element to the show because it's all the technical stuff and understanding bikes better, the types of bikes, and I think you understand a lot about even the professional riders and things like that.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I'm pretty lucky just in a way that I've just been working in bike shops for so long. Like, I've been working in bike shops for almost 10 years now, so it's not about sort of studying and trying to learn, it's more just time in the industry has taught me what I now know, I suppose. So I would say I don't think I'm anybody special. I've been a bike mechanic, bike salesman, pretty much everything to do with the bike industry. I've sort of done most of the stuff in that, and I've kind of taken little ideas that I've learned from different aspects along the way and different, I suppose, lessons, and sort of been able to put that into a company.
Yeah, this is how it's all come together, like all your life experiences and everything that your passions and everything. Yeah. And so how did this come about? How did you...
Good, great question actually. Yeah, the long and short of it, I suppose, is the C word, COVID, started it. It was kind of my trampoline into the second-hand market. Like I said, I was working at the bike shop for many years. It would have been at least probably 6 or 7 years before COVID came along. Like I said, COVID happened, and then everybody was walking into the bike shops and trying to buy a bike. We couldn't even supply them fast enough. It was ridiculous is the only word that I can think to describe that whole time working in a bike shop. People would walk in with $10,000 in their hand, cash, and they'd say, "Can I buy a bike?" And my response would be, "No. There's just no bikes available."
There was just none at all.
Full stop. Like 2-year wait list for some of these bikes, 3 years for some. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Couldn't even supply them fast enough. So all of a sudden, all these bikes are sitting around in people's sheds that aren't getting used, or they want to sell it so that they can move on to their next bike or whatever it is. And there were no brand new bikes available. So secondhand was kind of the only thing that was available, I suppose. So I spent a couple of years in my spare time, like outside of work there, I suppose, helping people sell their bikes on behalf of them, on consignment, I suppose, as opposed to buying and selling. And then I just take a little cut from the final sale price. And what started off as being maybe 1 bike a month, maybe turned into 2, and then 2 turned into 4. And then I sort of kept sort of working my way up from that. And I remember I sat down with a piece of paper, well, not a piece of paper, I had a spreadsheet keeping a tally of what I was selling, how much, who for, who to, if I ever needed to get checked for any of that stuff, as you imagine. And I kind of shocked myself at how much I actually sold in a 12-month period. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm doing this with 30 minutes a week and I've made that much money. And I thought, imagine if I actually tried. So then, to cut a long story short, ended up leaving the bike shop quit my job, started working out of my house, and then I thought, oh dear, now I've got to pay my mortgage, my dog food, all the bills that come along with it. It just has to work.
It just got real. You're like, oh.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, what have I done? In Adelaide, I would argue that most of the market is more road bike orientated, more than mountain and gravel, although there's sort of gravel's definitely coming up.
I love that as well though, because you're then knowledgeable in all bikes. It's not just road or mountain bikes or all of them.
Very, very good point. Road bikes and mountain bikes, yes, they're both a push bike. Yes, they've both got a frame and 2 wheels, but from a mechanical side of things, they are a little bit different. So it's good to be able to sort of dip my feet in both different types of water so I can learn a bit about each of them. I think with road bikes, it's all about everything has to be absolutely perfect. And if it's not absolutely perfect, the whole bike feels a little bit weird and a little bit different, whereas a mountain bike can kind of take a bit more abuse, and if the wheel's a little bit out of true, you probably don't notice it because of the little bumps are going on and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, I think this is possibly one of my favourite things in the whole bike shop. I've got a bunch of $10,000 bikes, but at the end of the day, this is the coolest thing I've got in the bike shop, because directly behind the camera, I've got Polaroids with almost everybody that's bought a bike in here, and it's been just about almost 12 months in this building, and I've slowly collected photos behind, which we'll show you as well. I suppose I like this because it shows organic growth. It shows that you can't just take, what have I got, 200 Polaroids. You can't just take 200 Polaroids in a day. That's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, slowly collecting them. So I guess it just shows that this business isn't just an overnight thing as well. This is it started a while ago, and it's just slowly grown. And yeah, Serafina's on there. Yeah.
I'm on the floor.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the real reason why I bought a bike off you, because I wanted to be on your people. I love as well that you're talking about the people that you buy and sell bikes to, and you've got the story. You know every individual story. It's like it's a connection for you. It's not just a bike sale. It's a person and a story. And
yeah, exactly. In my phone, man, I have such an embarrassingly large amount of phone numbers, because whenever I sell a bike, I'm not selling a bike for Trek Australia or for Cervelo Australia or whoever the other brands are. I'm selling it for Jeff and to Tim. I'm selling it for someone and to someone. So I've now made 2 new relationships with 2 new people that I can hopefully sort of keep there a little bit if I can, and maybe they come back for regular servicing, or they go and tell their friend, and if there's 2 people here, if they go and tell 2 friends, that's 4. If they go and tell 2 people, that's the whole idea of small business, that I'm trying to help people. And if I can help 2 people rather than 1,
yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
So, the formula N+1.
Yeah, N being the number of bikes that you currently own. I think that's one of those ones that everybody knows. Yeah, exactly right. You can never have too many bikes. That's the rule. Yeah,
whatever
exactly
it is, +1.
Exactly right, yes.
So, I don't know if you want to tell people the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyway, how many bikes do you have?
Let me count. I'm making this up. I think I've only got about 3 bikes at the moment, but I've got a lot of bikes here in my shop, but bikes that I actually ride. I've got my race road bike, which is a Cervelo S5. I've got my mountain bike, which is actually an e-mountain bike, an electric mountain bike. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be super happy, and a lot of people are going to be quite the opposite with that. And I've also got a gravel bike. I've got a Trek 920 gravel bike, aluminium frame, 29-inch mountain bike wheels on it. Bike racks and all that cool sort of stuff as well. So really, I've got 3 main bikes that I've got, and I've got a pub commuter bike. So everyone needs one of them.
Yep.
Yeah. So not as many bikes as you'd probably think a bike shop owner would have, but 3 good bikes. So I'm happy with my N+1. Yeah. But I could always do with another one, right?
We all could.
Yeah. I've been eyeing off this Cervelo behind me. Cipollini behind me for a little while.
It's very nice. And I do wonder that it's like, in a pet shop, like if somebody brings in pet, you don't want to sell it, or the RSPC or whatever it is, it's like, oh, we'll take that home, and then you end up with all of these.
I've given it a name already. All that, yeah. I get a lot of bikes that come in here. If they're my size, I really have to try not to buy it for myself.
Actually, you just mentioned e-mountain bike.
Yes.
So that's interesting. Why an e-mountain bike and not a regular mountain bike?
Good question. I actually used to work at a big bike shop in the city, but then I ended up leaving there, and I worked at a different bike shop over on Glen Osmond Road called Wheel Ride, and they only sell electric bikes. So I was able to test ride a few different electric bikes around there, and someone's coming in here. I might quickly say hello to this person at the door if that's okay. Yeah. Everybody that comes in here gets my personal phone number as well. So it's not like you're just talking to a salesperson, you're talking to Lewis. And if you send an email, Lewis is replying. And if you want to get your bike serviced and know what happens to it, and you want to have a chat to the mechanic, that's Lewis. Everybody gets to speak to me, so they all get the same sort of experience in here as well, I think. And without trying to sound too cocky, I think I've got a half a right personality that I can keep a conversation going with most people about most things. Trying to bring it back to bikes a little bit if I can, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, the whole personal experience.
And you service them all before you sell them?
Yeah, definitely service. You can probably see in the background we've got the workshop back there as well. So every bike that comes in here, an important part for me is that they're all safe, serviced and not stolen. I think those three things probably would make sense to most people looking to buy a second-hand bike. You want to know that it's safe, i.e. it's not cracked or damaged or tyres aren't worn out or that sort of thing. Serviced, obviously making sure that the gears are working the way they should, the brakes are working the way they should, all that sort of stuff. And then not stolen is obviously another aspect. That's one of the, I'm going to say one of the grey areas in the pre-owned market as well, that it's hard to tell if a bike's stolen. So that's kind of where it helps coming in here, that you can trust all of that stuff. So
yeah, and I really like that when I came here and I bought the gravel bike, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys will see at the end of this, actually, I'll show you a ride I did the other day, the maiden voyage of that bike. But I really love that you took down the serial number of the bike. And
serial number, you get a PDF invoice, all that stuff. I was able to give you a very brief summary of who owned it before you.
You're training for a half Ironman.
Half Ironman, yes. Today is the 6th of November, so in 6 days, hopefully I'll be at the finish line celebrating, unless I'm sitting at the bottom of the ocean. We'll see what happens, but trying my best. So many months of training has come down to what's going to happen in 6 days, hopefully. So yeah, half Ironman. See what happens.
What inspired you to do that? Where did that come from?
Myself, a good friend, and my accountant. We were all sitting down one day, and we just said, that's right. We did a sprint distance triathlon down at West Lakes with the South Australian Triathlon Club, and we finished the race, and it's a relatively short distance. And at the finish line, we all just said, let's just do it. Boom. And we just sat there in that moment, all got our phones out, signed up, and it happened so quickly, and now we have to do it. So we kind of forced ourselves across that line, and I guess it's in a sense it's sort of forced me into a healthier lifestyle than I was living before. Not that I was unhealthy before, but now I'm kind of, I'd argue, probably the fittest that I've been before. So I guess it's a good achievement to strive for. Quite excited.
And how do you fit that all in, because this is a lot that you're doing, and you're running a business here, and it's 6 days a week.
6 days a week,
and you're training for a half Ironman.
I get up before the sun gets up, I don't go down after the sun goes down. There's sort of no other way to put that, really.
I think this is one of the things I love with having you on the show as well, is that it's not just, because I do a lot of the road biking, we'll now do a bit more, the gravel biking and things as well, but having the mountain bike and the downhill, and that, the segment that you have, it doesn't always need to be as well about just fixing or maintenance or that sort of thing, but you could give tips on mountain biking or even on road cycling. So
of course, I mean, I feel like hopefully the viewers at home would know that the whole Ask Lewis segment isn't just about bike mechanics. I'm not just going to teach you how to tune gears or just teach you how to fix a tyre. If you just want to know something about anything to do with bikes, if you want to know who's a famous cyclist that came from Adelaide that you might have heard of but you didn't know they were from Adelaide or something like that, any sort of questions that you can think of, obviously shoot them all through down in the comments below or wherever the messages get sent. Anything to do with bikes, I'm happy to give you as much information as I have, which is hopefully a little bit. Of course, all questions.
While we've been sitting here, you've had so many people coming in, so we've had to stop rolling the camera so many times because Lewis is very popular and people just keep coming and going.
You live a busy lifestyle.
It's very, very cool. I love it, and it seems like it's a real coming here. It's very connected in community, and people know you, and it's cool vibe. Yeah,
exactly right. Yeah, and that's a very good way to put it. Community and
no, you've got a great personality. You're just it's easy to talk to you. You just connect with everybody and anybody, and you can just it's wonderful. And so coming in here, it's very welcoming and friendly, and I love that. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
it's very, very cool.